Trump blamed the obsession with diversity hires for making air travel less safe.
The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities.
And everyone lost their minds.
And yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed. And you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control.
Of course CNN journo Karen went there.
Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
I think that's not a very smart question. I'm surprised coming from you.
So satisfying to see Miss Main Character Syndrome get roasted by the big man yet again.
That is amazing.
Are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
But wait, I mean, he's right, isn't he? Here it is on the FAA's website. If you prioritise race and protected characteristics, including mental disabilities, over skill and competency, you're gonna get less skill and competency. Trump's disaster playbook. Blame Democrats and politicise tragedy. How is it politicising tragedy if politics is making these tragedies more likely? It's a fact that the FAA deliberately turned away qualified ATCs because they were shock horror white men, including Andrew Brigida, who scored 100% on his training exam, but was rejected as an air traffic controller because he failed the biographical test of not being diverse.
So you take the technical test, you get 100%. Then you take the biographical test. How do you do on that?
So I ended up failing.
Andrew was a victim of bigotry.
I mean, how is this legal?
It's not.
He was just one of 2,500 aspiring air traffic controllers who say they were harmed by the FAA's racially discriminatory hiring policies. Yeah, if I was on that plane, I know who I'd prefer. Pilot is white, always a relief. Welcome on board Diversity Airlines.
I'm Brad Mims, Deputy Administrator at the Federal Aviation Administration. We need a diverse group of air traffic controllers. We need a diverse air traffic workforce.
Is air travel in the US becoming less safe? 2023 saw the highest number of serious runway incidents in almost a decade. And in the same year, there were 503 significant air traffic control lapses, 65% more than in the prior year.
37 stop.
Another close call as a FedEx 767 comes within 100 feet of a Southwest Airlines flight in Austin.
In San Diego.
At JFK Airport in New York. They call them near misses.
Southwest aboard.
They're near collisions.
But it's nothing to do with diversity, they say. It's exhaustion. Wait, but surely performing under pressure should be a key skill for an air traffic controller. But they stopped hiring them primarily based on skill, and that's the point. Under Obama, the FAA replaced a skills-based test with a biographical questionnaire to attract more diverse applicants. They blame lack of staffing for all these mistakes, while simultaneously blocking thousands of new potential FAA staff because they weren't diverse enough.
The Obama administration put in place this new set of hiring standards for air traffic controllers.
The FAA decided that it was producing too many white men to become air traffic controllers. They decided to change the hiring process and introduce a new first step, which was called the biographical questionnaire. And it was designed to alter the racial makeup of the potential hiring pool.
The media really rounded on Trump for those DEI comments. Some are accusing Trump of exploiting the tragedy to his advantage, while others are outright accusing him of racism. Thanks to Ground News, I can instantly access every article on it and compare coverage. You can check this out at ground.news/PJW via the link down below, or scan the QR code on screen. Slightly more left than right-wing sources are covering this, although there's widespread interest across the board. Ground News helps me track these kind of nuances and shines a spotlight on misleading narratives. I use Ground News every day, and not just because they sponsor me. It's genuinely been a game changer. It helps me see through the bias, cut through the noise, and think for myself. It's easy to be overwhelmed while scrolling through social media sites, trying to figure out what's important, what's actually new content and not old news. But Ground News helps me dissipate all that clutter by giving me context behind each source, like who funds them, and even which sources are not publishing original content, helping me stay informed of breaking news developments as they happen. And more importantly, what the media isn't covering, which could lead to blind spots. I've found Ground News to be an invaluable tool in shaping my daily news digest, so it's never been a better time to check out ground.news/PJW. news/PJW or scan the QR code on screen. They're currently offering my viewers 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the one I use for unlimited access. Crucially, they're independently owned and subscriber funded, so please support their mission to hold the media accountable. The link is down below.
The lack of staffing is directly attributable to the Obama administration terminating the lists of eligible, well-trained air traffic control statements in 36 universities across the country in 2013 because they were too white.
Is there any indication that diversity hires aren't up to the job? I mean, the guy Biden hired as FAA Chief of Staff in 2023, well, let's just say he was in no danger of being overqualified for the role.
Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS-B transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
That's okay. We'll just keep going. So that's a pretty important part. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay. So what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so...
So can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
Okay, let's keep going.
Wow, really fills you with confidence. The FAA is also keeping its diversity hires in a job, even if they make potentially catastrophic mistakes.
In the old days, before 2010, the immunity program, if an air traffic controller got 2 airplanes too close, too many times, they would be decertified and retrained. Now, they're not. All they have to do within 48 hours of being noticed or being investigated for a potential separation error, they're called operational errors in the FAA, the controller just simply has to avail themselves of this program that gives them immunity. And when I say immunity, I mean immunity. The FAA cannot retrain these people.
But DEI isn't just about putting unqualified people into positions of power. It has the effect of making the jobs of the people who are already there on merit much harder. Productive workers have to clean up the messes, walk on eggshells, avoid offending the precious person, lest HR hags summon you in. DEI ruins organisations, civilian and military. The point is not that DEI causes a particular crash or disaster, but that any institution which adopts DEI is by definition lowering standards and sacrificing merit on the altar of ideology.
We will have the best and brightest in every position possible. The era of DEI is gone.
Clearer video that just got released of the crash really makes you wonder how the Black Hawk pilot didn't see the massive airliner.
These videos obtained exclusively by CNN show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In a second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
Another flight aborted landing because of a military helicopter in its path. Just 24 hours before the crash, AA4514 can be seen on radar having to go around and make a second attempt. There should have been 4 people, not 3, on board the Black Hawk chopper. Now we learn that there was only 1 person managing air traffic control for both planes and helicopters, which is supposed to be a 2-person job, and that one of the controllers clocked off early before the crash. They were supposed to have 30 air traffic controllers in the tower, but only had 19. Just a thought, and I know it's pretty controversial, but maybe they should have just hired more white men. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.